Hello from Calgary, Alberta. This is November already, and it is a little bit cooler. As you can see, there's not much vegetation left. Most of it has already gone. We've had the first snow, and the second one is coming soon, I think. So today I want to share with you my story. And I also want to share with you the mission for Newcomer Money, this page that you are listening to. So first of all, my story. I will say that November is a special time for me. November means the 10th year, the anniversary of the 10th year in Canada. And I can say I am happy. I am blessed to be here. I came from Bolivia originally and spent a few years in the United States going to school. At that time, immigration was difficult, so I ended up studying. And then there was an opportunity to come to Canada because immigration was open here in Canada. And it was a time of a lot of changes coming here. And it was a beautiful time actually in my life. I had a lot of hopes, a lot of dreams. And one of the dreams was still my nursing dreams. In the United States, I was going to school, but even though I had a nursing license, I had done all the process, I couldn't work as a nurse because of one simple thing. Immigration was backlogged. And although the hospitals wanted me, they were not able to get across the backlog. So we just had to wait. It was a case of time. And so when the opportunity came to come to Canada, that was one of the things that was happy for me. I thought, I'm going to be a nurse. It's the same exam in Canada, the NCLEX. And Canada and the US, they are neighbors, so everything is going to be just straightforward. And finally, I'm going to achieve my dreams. Well, the reality was not so. It was a really difficult time in my life to realize that Canada has a different system and that I had to undergo a lot of examinations, English tests. I had to do a lot of paperwork from Bolivia, travel there, and spend a lot of money. That was, I think, one of the most difficult parts, because as a new immigrant, you realize that you're not making a very good income. You're just struggling to survive. And so getting all the money and for additional paperwork was hard. And that was part of the process of getting myself into debt also. And then I had to travel to Toronto and be there to take the examination and then wait. After about 2 years of this whole process, costly process for me, with a dream of finally being a nurse, the reality was much different. The reality was that the system was not going to be any different for me. It was the same as for all the nurses that come from abroad, whether from the Philippines, from India, from China. It doesn't matter. Even from the United States, it doesn't matter. You have to go through the system. So that meant going to school again. And that's when my dreams finally collapsed. I realized that I had been fighting for this dream for 10 years, putting a lot of money into it through the years, even for the process in the United States, which was lengthy and costly. And I finally crumbled. Because I realized that it had been such a long time that I had this dream, and finally I had to let it go. It was the saddest thing in my life that at that time, letting a dream that I had held on for a lot of years. And even right now I get a little emotional because letting go of that dream also, I don't know, I think it was one thing that was holding stuff together. I don't know. But with that came crumbling a lot of things in my life. One of them was my health. So I crumbled down emotionally, I crumbled down physically, mentally, and also in my marriage. I lost my marriage, and I found myself alone in a time when should have been one of the most beautiful in my life. I was struggling just to make it from one day to another. And I wish I had the money to do and eat, pray, love, just go off to some country and rebalance myself, rebalance my body, and come back healthy, come back as a new brown person, just able to see the world a little bit differently. But the reality is I was totally broke. I was broke financially. But that's the motivator. That was the motivator to get me started. And at that time, I decided I am not going to be defeated. I'm going to work hard to get myself out of debt and out of where I was to a better place. And that's when the dream started. The first dream was to get myself out of debt. It took me 2 long years. But after that, things started going better for me. I started working a lot in rebalancing my body, rebalancing my health, rebalancing my emotions, rebalancing my mindset. And I think this was the key. The key was to remind myself that I was not alone, that I had a family, I had God, I still had myself. And to realize that the most important things were with me. And so that was, I think, the key motivator to get me to be better, to learn more, and work on my mind. And I think mindset is one of those things that are so important. So wherever you are, it doesn't matter if you are struggling or if you're much better or if you're thriving. Mindset is one of those things that will push you forward to whatever it is that you want to achieve next. And so fast forward to today, it has been 7 years since I first had that little dream of becoming financially independent, financially free. And at that time, I set myself a number because I was learning about financial freedom and made the calculations and set myself a number way back then, 7 years ago. And I've been keeping track of it, and I realized that this month I reached my number. So that was a huge progress for me, but that was not the end of the dream. I decided that was just the beginning. I struggled a lot as a newcomer. And I know a lot of my newcomers friends also struggle, not only financially, but in so many areas of life. And I thought, if I can help somebody else with struggling just a little bit less, or become motivated to start something new, to start something different, to grow financially, to grow in income streams, I would be giving back a little of what was given to me. So I started this channel with 3 distinct missions. One is empower other women to financial freedom. If that's you, then you found your place. The other mission, I want to help other entrepreneurs that may be also thinking, is this for me? Am I able to do this? And especially women in midlife, sometimes we have these crises, like teenagers have. Am I good enough? But the reality is, no matter who you are, where you are good enough. And if you want to start whatever journey you want to start next, you are capable. And I want to share my entrepreneurial journey for that, for motivation, and for the reality that anything is possible. So I'm going to be showing different strategies that I'm using, and also showing my growth on a week-to-week basis. So every Monday I'm going to be sharing in a little video where I show you the numbers of growth, social media growth, and also my financial objectives, and so that you can see week to week how the potential is in this business that I am just starting. And the third reason is one of the most important things in business is the ability to reach more people. So a lot of businesses depend on increasing their reach, because by increasing your reach, you are able to provide services or provide something that you have a value to others. But if your reach is small, even though you have a really good idea, really good service, if your reach is small, you don't reach your potential. And that is where I want to start working on social media growth. I've learned the strategies that are necessary for growing. I've learned the strategies that I will be practicing myself, so I will be showing you. And hopefully that this can also improve your reach in your business. So those are my 3 goals. I think my mission is to empower other women that anything is possible. Any dream is possible, so that there's no impossible dream. I once had a limiting thought, which was, is it possible for a newcomer that is a caregiver, making a little salary, to become financially free? And my first reaction was no, that's impossible. Engineers, doctors, they're taking 10 to 15 years to reach their numbers. How can I, even in 20 and 30, working as a caregiver? And the reality is, the past few years, that's what I've been doing. I've been working as a caregiver. But the limits really are up here. The limits that we set ourselves, the limits that we live by. And so if we are able to work on our mindset and eliminate some of those limits and open our minds to other possibilities, there's no limit of what you can achieve, what you can do if you set yourself your goals to achieve them. And now I will share with you specific goals on my next video, but they're pretty big. But why am I following such audacious goals? Maybe because I do believe they are hard for anybody, even myself, working as a caregiver. But they're not impossible. And if I am willing to put in the effort, if I'm willing to put in the time, if I'm willing to work towards it, of course, it's possible. It may take me a little longer than I think, but anything is possible. So that's what I want to share with you today. I want to empower you that let's work together to work on our heads, on our brains, on our possibilities, and to keep on dreaming. So if this is something that interests you, I will ask you to follow me, to subscribe, and to put on the little notification bell, so that every Monday when my long form video comes, you can be there and you can be inspired. And I would love to have you in my little community of women, inspiring, motivating each other to grow, continuing to strive for your dreams. So I look forward to the future. See you there.